Hi guys, my name's Seb Tudor, I'm the man on the Silver Mountain and welcome back to Conan Exiles. Now today, I wanted to take a look at the new building stuff that they've added, and so as a result I thought what would be the best way to do it. And one of the things that I kind of want to do is kind of get rid of this random lone bed up here on the border between the frozen north and the Exiled Lands. And maybe build just a little structure up here with a lift that goes down. That's a rhino. For a second I thought it was something else. But yeah, just something that I can build off the edge here for just, instead of having to run up through and all the rest of it through underneath, kind of just build something up here to have fun with, just as an extra structure or as a midway point, so that there's not just an exposed bed out in the middle of nowhere. So I grabbed some bits and pieces that we're going to need already. So we've got there we go, we've got some various building bits and bobs here, as well as I want to try and start using, I've only spawned a couple, like one of each of these in for the moment, just to see how they work, because apparently I was reading the weekly community letter, and apparently there are some potential issues with kind of building pieces snapping and stuff like that currently. So I didn't want to, that probably won't work. There we go, we'll do it this side. So I kind of wanted to make sure that things snapped into place first before I actually started doing anything else. But yeah, some promise with it, because it gives us a bit more in the way of range for kind of stuff to build. Nope, that way. Cool. You know, just in terms of more interesting shapes and more interesting things that we can sort out as we go. Now, what I want to do is actually make this a little tower, a couple of stories tall. And I'm going to do it like this for the... you can stay there for the time being. I just want to square it off, just so that we can have a square roof as well. Why am I stepping through the floor? But there's been a couple of interesting things that have been mentioned. They gave us a brief kind of look at the like one screenshot of the new volcano area in the most recent community letter, which looks good to me personally. You know, sounds and looks interesting, looks good. As said, I'll be building more of the next purge-proof base around that kind of area, or at least what I'm believing at the moment is going to be the entrance to that zone. But then also there's been mention of swampy areas, there's been mention of other stuff going on with that. And actually one of the things that stood out to me from the community letter that was really kind of cool, really kind of interesting, was more to do with the animal ecology system, this ecosystem based... Oh, have we already run out? God damn it. But the kind of ecosystem focused bits and pieces that they were adding before, that to do with kind of the ways that animals are interacting with one another and attacking each other and all that kind of thing. And how apparently one of the next things that they're looking to do is add kind of family dynamics as well, which is really... I mean, interesting seems to be the right word, but I realise that I overuse that word a lot. Right, okay, so let's... Now that we've got that out of the way, first thing I want to do, because we're going to need a corner, so we want to stick... Can I... Which... let's try over here. Does it needs a thing to sit on, does it? So I can't just have it open? Is that the way? That seems to be the way that it works. It has to, okay, so hold on. What we're going to do is we're going to need to just grab those, stick that right, this there, and then right. Okay, so that's interesting. So we're going to have to put in a kind of a ceiling at least around the edges in here, seemingly, for it to snap properly, because otherwise it's, unless, I don't know if that's by design or not. Because I'd have thought that maybe having an open ceiling would have been fine, but maybe this is the way to make it snap for the time being. If it's bugging, and if it's not bugging, then fair enough, I guess. There's not really much I can do or say around that for the time being. So let's grab some more of those corners, shall we? Right, they were thatch. So let's grab another 3 corners. Now the interesting thing that stands up in my mind now, though, is does that mean we're going to basically need to build an internal structure to this roof with ceilings and with supports and things along the edges as it goes up? No, see now. So I can put that there, and it's perfectly acceptable when it's got 1 point of contact. But along these edges here, where it's got two points of contact, okay, that seems a little screwy. But I can work with it. That's fine. Let's keep going, shall we? Okay, so let's hold on. So we're gonna need roof slopes anyway. So let's grab ourselves, like, I don't know, 30 of those, and then we'll get ourselves another, like, I don't know, 8 of those for the time being, because we've got the cap, so that's fine. We've already got one of those, so we can take a look at how that works, what kind of support that might need. In a minute we can see how that pans out. Right, okay, so now that we got that oddly in the way that it is, let's slap in some more of these, because there's another thing that I'm kind of interested to look at, which we'll get to as this takes more shape. Am I hearing animals attacking things outside? No? No, seemingly not. I thought I heard animals attacking each other. Oh well. But yeah, so one of the things that's been kind of missing from the game is ultimately the kind of corridor, and being able to put roofs on corridors kind of effectively, just because these big old roofing panels are kind of humongous. I can't see if that's in. Yeah, there we go. Took a risk. But yeah, so we've done this. So in theory, we should now just be able to stick a cap on the roof, and it should be done. Which, if we're... There we go. That's alright. I don't mind that. That seems perfectly useful. It seems to snap in place alright. So I don't know which bugs that were being referred to in regards to stuff snapping into place and so on. But, you know, we'll tackle that in a minute. Right, but let's... Okay, so the next thing we want to do is we want to build out our... Yeah, we want to build out our corridor to take us off the edge, and that's fine, but we're going to need to start supporting ourselves as we move forward, which is great, which is easy and fine to do, and we'll do it with foundations because I can't be bothered to spawn in pillars, and foundations should do perfectly well. Just need to line them up properly. But that might be easier said than done. No, do you know what? Let's do pillars. Just because that seemed too much trouble than it was worth after I had started doing it. So let's grab ourselves a stack of like 50 of these just in case we need more, just in case I end up destroying some because I put them in the wrong places. And right, so you go there, and then you go there, and then we want another one under there, and that's cool. Right, and then yeah, we're gonna want more stuff coming off this way. We want another pillar. Is that actually in contact with the ground? No. Okay. Yeah, so the way I'm building this out, and the way I want to build this out, is, so we've got this roof here, which is all very well and good. But then they've also added kind of one slot wide corridor roofing, which is something, honestly, I've wanted for a while. Just quietly to myself. Just because it's like, I like the idea of kind of making labyrinths and stuff like that. The trial plateau that I started, that I will get back to eventually, when I can throw Hannah in there and so on. But also if I can, some of the AI upgrades and things are going to be interesting to see what I can do with those and how I can abuse it. So we'll get back to that at some point, kind of easily. But like having these kind of twisty, labyrinthine or Skybridge-esque even kind of structures as part of my base, you know, you don't want them too wide because you want them to be defensible. You want them to be to stem the flow of enemies, you know. As Joel Bylos has said before in various dev streams, one of the things that we need to do when it comes to building bases that are worth defending is think defensively. And so having bottlenecks and narrow areas that prevent enemies from getting in on us, be they human enemies or be they individuals waiting to purge us, you know, it's still a case of do you know what, let's hop over here and then hop down. Oh crap, no. But yeah, whether they're purge enemies or whether they're humans or, you know, whatever the situation may well be, we kind of need to make sure that we're taking into account kind of how many are coming at us at a time, you know, various weak spots and vulnerabilities. And again, this is why, as much as we're not going to see stuff from the Purge for a while, to say the least, you know, why I've been kind of building stuff for it. You know, I want to try it out. I want to see what will work, what won't work, and such like. Yeah. So I'm like, if I build out all of these different things, try out all these different methods. Like in the first one, the bottleneck is very much a case of getting all the way up. Shit. But that's connected with the ground now, so that's fine. I don't need to do any more. But it's a case of if you've got enemies that are smart enough to blow their way through things or climb up stuff or whatever else, then, you know, you might end up having a little bit of a problem when it comes to coming to your defense. You know, you're going to have people blowing holes in stuff, climbing up things, and so when it comes to the first base that I built, the tower, as much as I very much enjoy the tower, there may very well be a situation where they will just blow the floors out from under us, and that'll be it. Same with the keep, where there are more bottlenecks in the keep, and it's overall, I feel, both got more openings to the structure, but is also potentially more defensible. You know, we'll see some interesting stuff depending on what the AI for humanoids and things can actually manage. So, you know, that's all going to be very interesting and stuff. But here we go, one square wide, and yet now let's take a look at these new roofs for this as well. So, what's the thatch? So we've got the ends, so we're going to need 2 of those. And then we've got the roofing sections, which I guess are as long as each individual section here. So we could count it up, or we could just go 20 and hope that that's enough. So let's see about fitting these. So we've got 1 at each end, and then we've got all the sections in between. So if we do the ones at each end first, so 1... Is that the right way around? Yeah? Yeah, okay, that's the right way around. Cool. And then we've got the other one that we'll slap down here where we want to stick the lift in the end, just off there. Right, cool. So now we just need to hopefully snap all of these things into place. Don't know why it wants to go the other way. Okay, that was definitely a dog noise. Or like a hyena or a wolf or something. Oh, there's a boar over there. But I'm fairly certain that wasn't what I heard. Yeah, I don't know why it wants to go on sideways, but we'll cope. And there we go. So that's I'm not too sure about that, but we'll see. We need a vertical elevator. Elevator vertical. Cool. Ah, there it is. But yeah, so we've got some interesting stuff kind of coming as it. Oh crap. As it were. But as I was saying, the stuff about the kind of ecosystem, the ecology stuff, that's sounding just great to me. Where now they're talking about mothers and babies kind of calling out to each other for assistance and stuff like that, and how they can make that work. And oh, we got corner stairs as well now. That's cool. I don't mind that. But having kind of the one thing that worries me, maybe... Oh, I needed a couple of these, but okay, that's fine. The one thing that worries me a little bit about maybe the mothers and babies thing is more the fact that if you've got them all calling out and all of them count as mothers bar certain individuals, say, then what happens when you call out, you yell and you scream as a baby creature? Where will this take us? But you yell and you scream as a baby creature, which is all very well and good, but then what if it's literally a case of everything in the zone that registers in some way as a mother comes charging around the corner to save you? Yeah, it's a case of kind of me going, that'll be a lot of creatures suddenly deciding that they're going to swamp someone just because they've heard, you know, a baby cry. Which again also then begs the question of, so how do we kind of stop that from occurring? Yeah, what is it that we can now do to prevent that kind of happening? Yeah, how do we stop Mama Kappa from coming to get us? Is there a way for us to stop Mama Kappa or Mama Shaleback, sorry, from charging at us angrily as soon as her baby cries out? You know, is there anything that we can do? Because if not, then, you know, it's going to be a pretty hard system to deal with, I think. You know, we're going to have all manner of additional issues and things that could stem from just the introduction of these things. Also, if we've got a kind of system for capturing and taming animals, whereby it's not really a case of us going and capturing an adult animal so much as going and capturing an animal that's a baby and then raising it as our own kind of thing, training it from a youngster, then, you know, how difficult will it be for us to tackle that as a problem? Okay, well, that worked, at least. Let's get back up there. Because so far they mentioned kappas. We've seen some of the images for baby leopards, I think. And obviously we've seen some of the big cats roaming around. So then with wolves, we've got whole packs of wolves that seem to want to work together, including dire wolves. Will they have puppies and wolf cubs and things for us to go and snatch and raise as our own? Or how will that work? You know, we've got a lot of little things that they're tinkering with here and looking at, which sound awesome, but I'm interested to see how they all add up. Like this is something with these kind of single square corridors, as it were. You know, this is great for defensive building, for whatever else, for proper roofing on it. You know, this is great in my opinion, something that we've needed for a while. But in regards to kind of other creatures having calling out for mummy and things like that, that's going to be kind of interesting to see how that all adds up, I think. You know, because we're gonna have to see how creatures respond. Because in regards to the stuff that we've got so far, you know, creatures interacting, defending each other, helping each other out, then it's not. I think that's because it's got stuff in. I can stay there for the time being, but I want to move this inside. But yeah, with creatures in the way they are at the moment, we're going to see potentially things get horrible before they get better. Yeah, in regards to the creatures. So let's go find something to just go and use as a case study, shall we? Just quickly before I end the video. I didn't really want to get onto this, but I sat down and looked through the new stuff in their weekly community letter, which, by the way, if you're not taking a look at it every week when it comes out and you enjoy this game, I'd suggest sitting down for like the 5 minutes it takes to go through the letter. You know, I keep an eye on their Facebook page so that whenever it pops up then I can just go and take a look straight away. But Where's a wolf when you need one? There's got to be some around here somewhere. This is the miserable wet part of the world. Is that a bear? Let's go talk to a bear. Okay, so if there's a bear... Oh, there's a wolf. If there's a bear or a wolf, one of these fellas, yeah, that can I? Okay, so we can't knock creatures unconscious seemingly with. Yeah, so we can't knock creatures unconscious with a truncheon at the moment, which makes me think that either that'll be something that they'll have to introduce at a later date, or something that they'll ignore. You know, when you don't, when it comes to training an animal or something, you're not likely to. There you go. You're not likely to go and knock them out just to drag them back. You're going to look at a way to tame them. So, in regards to... Oh, here we go. Bear versus wolf. Who wins? Probably bear. Yeah, definitely bear. Bear versus dire wolf, though. But again, I don't... That's another thing about the ecosystem system, I suppose. Oh, dire wolf kills deer. Like, part of the ecosystem system, I suppose, is, you know, like what was that a territorial fight? Like, why was the wolf? Because the wolf, I mean, I can assume that the dire wolf and the wolf are probably not going to get into too much trouble with each other. Oh, so we got bear going after stag, missing completely. We've got dire wolf. Hi, friend. Okay, so bear is aggressor in every situation here so far. But is that just because bear is higher on food chain kind of flowchart? Oh my, poor dire wolf. I assume you're a dire wolf. But yeah, like, is it going to be a flowchart? Is it going to be with like babies in there, like off to the sides as being things that call for help that are otherwise kind of defenseless and don't really attack stuff? Or what? Because imagine if you had a pack of wolf cubs over here and bear friend went and killed them, or went to try and kill them, and they started howling and screeching and whatever else for mummy and so on. Would every wolf in the area count as mummy? Or would they have specific... Would they have specifics? Yeah, that's one of the things that stands out to me. Because would it be everything within range of their ability? Or would it be specific creature within range? You know, it's something I'm interested to see. Because obviously... especially kind of off that way and further north where you've got potentially quite big packs of wolves all clumped together. Having all of them call down on you would be an excellent challenge, but also could be a little bit broken if it's... You manage to chase one of these little baby wolf cubs away and they start screeching and it's still every wolf, even from different packs. So I'm interested to see how they handle that, because all of this stuff is going to count towards Asura's glory. Huh. But all of this stuff is going to count towards like the new systems for AI. All of it's going to count towards the new bits and pieces for being defensive. Because think about it, if their ecosystem flowchart works and works really well, then imagine if they introduced the same kind of flowchart and hierarchy for the humanoid AI, so that the humanoid AI then works together better. Yeah, so that they actually try to protect certain individuals. Like if there is a an individual, a sorcerer among them, who has capacity for healing or raising the dead or something like that, and they deliberately and actively try and protect that person from you, adds an extra layer of challenge. And then if the other systems that go along with that, the actual sorcery system itself, how they're going to be attacking, what capabilities they're going to have in attacking, all that kind of thing. If all of those add up well together, and even if the enemy can tame animals as well, so that they can have kind of aggressive animal units to come and attack us with in our bases, it's going to be an interesting set of things for us to deal with. And I know I've used the word interesting a lot in this episode, but like, so far we've got so many unknowns. We've got cool little things. These are little detail things, but they work really well. We've got the I mean, I've not come across any bugs and things with it so far, so I can only assume it works well, and it gives us that extra edge in terms of planning that apparently I'm extremely hot. So let's just sort that out, shall we? Because I don't believe I am. There we go. But we've got the new Thrall system with the inventories and things, which sounds and looks great. We can now recruit one to come with us. Like, one of the things that I want to do in maybe the next couple of episodes is find like a rank for Nordheimer or something, kit them out with some decent equipment, like the same stuff I'm using, and then take them into one of the dungeons and just see how they fare. Yeah, just see how well they do, how long they last if they get taken out, what happens to them when they get taken out, and stuff like that. I want to see how that adds up. Now that I've got my thralls back, as and when I actually equip them with everything, then I'm gonna want to see run our little purge emergency drill thing that I've been I've had in mind for a little while, where I just dump a large number of enemies at the gate, and then just see how well the thralls respond so far. We've had little upgrades here and there, we've had little things kind of coming and going, and we've had relative silence to a degree from Funcom whilst they were moving office, whilst they were doing other things, whilst they were having to upgrade from one version of the Unreal Engine to another. So now that they seem to be back on top of things, and we're getting more stuff out from them on the regular, dev streams have come back to one extent or another. We've got the weekly community letter. We're being kept apprised of things a little better now. So hopefully we'll see more of that as we go on, and we, as was said in the last dev stream, where things are cascading. So you improve this, and it leads on to being able to do the next thing, and then once that improvement has been made, it leads on to the next thing. Now that the ball seems to be rolling on that, and they've given us more. Well, they've given themselves more leeway on actually getting it done because they moved the release date back, but also they're involving us again in regards to what's going on. So they're responding to bugs in regards to crashes and instability and fixes and things like that, as a thing that they're being transparent about. But obviously it takes time. So I'm hopeful again. For a while I was thinking, maybe we will see some of the stuff coming in that they've talked about that we want. But we'll see kind of how things go from here on out. But I don't know, things seem to have slowed down and gone quiet. This is a little concerning. I wasn't particularly worried or particularly upset, for the simple reason that I don't think there's a Funcom game that I've played in the last however many years that I've actually not enjoyed and not been able to get behind. Age of Conan, I think, was one of the first Funcom games I played, and that was great. Loved it to pieces. There were a couple of issues with it that got dealt with over time, but for the most part, it was fun. The Secret World, I got behind that very much so. Same with with this. and after playing Hide and Shriek more recently, which by the way I believe is still free to play now for the basic game, and it's only like £3 something for the mask pack to unlock all of the other bits and pieces as well. So I'd suggest getting that, and it's a one-on-one thing, which is kind of fun. I was gonna take a look at that with Hannah at some point, but again, mismatched schedules and all that. But yeah, so anyway, guys, let me know what you're actually looking forward to most in regards to what's being talked about, because obviously the more the ecosystem is developed and the more the Thrall system is developed, then the sooner we're likely to get pets. And then from pets, mounts is probably the next step after that in regards to animals and things that we can do with them and stuff like that. Is there anything that you think's maybe a missed opportunity, like before when we were seeing the frost giants turning up in the trailer for Frozen North, and I was like, wouldn't it be cool if that was a siege thrall, if we could enthrall them and kind of break their will and then throw them at stuff. And apparently we've got lizard men coming up, or serpent men coming up in the volcanic zone as well. So wouldn't it be cool if we could get hold of them and enslave them also? Like that's something that I'm hoping happens in the end, but if it doesn't, as long as we've got our people and can do our thing, then that's probably not a problem. But yeah, tell me what else you're looking forward to. What else has been mentioned that stands out to you? Which of the updates that we all kind of voted on in regards to the priority that we wanted them like ages ago now? Let me know what you felt was your top thing, because mine was more operation stuff. I wanted the game to work properly, and then after that, I wanted building, I wanted farming, I wanted stuff to do with thralls and the settlement system, and obviously with my enthusiasm for building bases, to test this against, I really want the purge. Like the sorcery system, to me, at the moment, from what's been said about it, take it or leave it. Obviously, depending on the expansiveness of the system, what kind of things they include from the Conan lore and other bits and pieces, maybe I'll get behind that. But for the most part, I'm interested in the kind of bits of the combat, but mostly the base building and the problem solving aspects of this, which is why I keep coming back to this game and talking to you guys about it, because with all of the other coaching content that I've got, where we've got this game that is entirely based around inventive problem solving, I want to get behind it, because also it's like, I played Minecraft, I've played other games that are kind of more kind of play with friends, survival game type things, and obviously I've played things like Subnautica as well, where they're problem solving focused, but like this one has more of the sandbox, I feel, and it's working on. They've worked on the sandbox first and making the sandbox fun before working on the kind of distractions from it, which would be the story and things like that. Which, don't get me wrong, really looking forward to the story side of things as and when it turns up. But the fact that I can, even with limited time, when I can come back to this game and just enjoy just briefly building stuff like this to see if it would work, to see how it works, or building big ass bases like the purge proof bases that I'm putting together so far purely for the purposes of testing, I entirely believe that at least one or two of these big bases that I'm building is going to get completely wiped out by the purge. And this will be the interesting thing. I mentioned this before, but if the purge is only in the Exiled Lands, and I built 2 purge-proof bases up north, they will never get tested. So I'm hoping that it's across the whole map, that these armies will just sweep in from wherever and lay waste, because we've now, we've got the curse wall all the way up around the top now as well. So one would hope that anywhere within the curse wall is where the purge is going to happen. But we'll have to see. Oh, elephant versus deer versus something. Well, the rock thing. I can't remember what those things are called. Why is the elephant just going straight after a hyena? I don't understand. Why is the elephant the aggressor here? I'm confused. Anyway, as said, leave me your thoughts down in the comments. I love coming back to them and seeing either you guys kind of challenging me to defend what I'm saying or to clarify myself, or just because you're agreeing and it's fun, you know. So yeah, I'd love to see what you guys think. But anyway, I am so confused by that elephant attacking, like being the aggressor. I'm gonna have to at some point do a little safari and see if I can work out which things attack what and why. You know, like what would you attack, friend? No? Okay, fine. Fuck you. But anyway, guys, thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you in the video tomorrow. Take care. Thank you very much for watching, guys. If you enjoyed this video, then please drop us a like, share this video, and subscribe for more, and I'll see you in the video tomorrow. Take care.